Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audiblepodcast.com/Sorgatron Media. Over 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod, iPhone, or MP3 player.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the AwesomeCast. We are back. We are getting awesome. We are doing awesome things, and sometimes it's for the kids.
Wow.
I'm Sorg, and with me, as always, the trusty co-host, whatever awesome I say, Rob De La Creta, coming at us again.
That's not Rob. That's Rob.
Your use of the term "as always" is not quite accurate.
I'm just going by the script. It's in my script. So,
it's in your script. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I'm home. Well, I'm still at work. But
wow, your home has changed a lot since we had that one episode there.
It looks like
which episode was that?
Under a garage door.
Oh, that one. Let's see. Where am I now? I'm in the cotton factory.
He doesn't even know.
Cottonfactory.com. So behind me, inventory.
Ooh.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
Inventory.
look at
so
that.
many freaking t-shirts. It'll blow your mind. So yeah, I'm back in town. I'm not traveling for like a whole 3 weeks, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I go to DC.
Jeez.
And then sometime after that I go to look at my agenda. Oh, then I have Chicago.
Where am I going?
I have DC and Chicago in May, and maybe Denver in June.
Oh, jeez.
And at some point in June, I'm also riding my bike to Lake Erie, so there's that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. You're a busy guy.
Hey, that's what happens, man. That's how it goes. Because everybody I know is like quit their job to go somewhere else, or left their job to go somewhere else, and it ends up more awesome. And you're like a perfect example of that. You're enjoying the travel, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's pretty great because for the last 2 trips I've gone with my boss, who has like spent a lot of time living in the cities we've been to, and because we do trade show stuff, they're always big cities, not like it's because there's a lot of like people who work in advertising or whatever who end up going to like Bumbledum, Minnesota or whatever.
Hoboken.
Hoboken. Hoboken. It is in New Jersey. Thank you.
Yes.
Hoboken, New Jersey.
But yeah, I went to Toronto and I just got back from New Orleans. Have any of you been to New Orleans?
No.
Okay. Here I've got pro tips of New Orleans for you. Step 1: do not go to Bourbon Street.
At all?
At all. If you feel like going to Bourbon Street and you can't fight the urge to go to Bourbon Street, what I want you to do is punch yourself in the face and find a naked picture of your mom. That's what Bourbon Street is. That's exactly what Bourbon Street is.
Write
It
that
is
down.
the most.
That's a show title.
It is like the most miserable crowding of humanity. It's really, really awful.
Even not during Mardi Gras?
What's that?
Even not during Mardi Gras?
At any time at all, ever.
Wow.
Because it's only 1,000,000 times worse during Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Just 1,000,000 times worse, and it just does not get better. So there's your do not go to Bourbon Street. Big waste of time, and you'll probably come back with an STD.
Just by walking by.
Places to go to. One place you absolutely need to go to. Look it up on the internet because I don't remember the name of the street, but it's like a couple blocks from the convention center. There's a place called Cochon, which is a lovely restaurant. They sell lots of great food. But behind Cochon is the Cochon Butcher, which is a swine bar. Okay? Who likes pork?
Everyone.
Right? So this is a full-service bar with a butcher, a legitimate butcher. You walk up, you get cuts of meat. And they can also make sandwiches out of these cuts of meat. It just so happens that every sandwich you can get has pork in it in some form or fashion. And the food is amazing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the best thing ever. So there's that, and then the one other thing in New Orleans that is a must-see in my sudden touristy... It's not even touristy. We didn't do anything touristy. Touristy would be Bourbon Street. If you're into being a tourist, you should also punch yourself in the face. Wino, the Wine Institute of New Orleans. See what they did there?
Oh!
Yeah. Okay. So if you follow my Instagram, you saw the pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, right? So they have wine taps. Okay? So how it works is you go into Wino, and you give them your credit card, and they will either charge a card, or you can say, like, they'll, like, keep your card, and then when you're done, whatever's on your card gets charged to your credit card, or you can say, hey, put $50 on my Wino card, and then you're good. So then there's, like, probably 16 of these machines. Each machine, stainless steel, with a little card slot in the top, 8 bottles of wine underneath. You put your card in the slot. On top of each bottle of wine are 3 buttons for 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and 4 ounce. You could drink as much freaking wine as you want, and it's all amazing wine. And there's they have like 16 of them, and there's 8 bottles per machine. So do the math. It's a lot of wine.
It's like Dave and Buster's of wine.
Yeah, really. And it's this awesome hydraulic cylinder thing that when they load the bottle, like it goes and it raises the bottle up and fills it with nitrogen, so the wine doesn't do that.
So winoschool.com if you're interested in checking that out. Looks like it might be a Flash applet, or I'd be able to see the wine serving system here.
Yeah, and I think Cochon is that's a COCHON.com probably, or COCHON butcher.com, one of the above.
Oh.
So there you go. There's New Orleans
In a nutshell.
in a nutshell. You're welcome.
Excellent.
Thanks, Rob.
No problem, pal.
Also here, as you've heard there, Chachi.
Hi, guys.
He's been doing stuff.
I have been doing stuff.
Now, you had a big day today.
I did. Children's Hospital, deploying stuff. Xboxes and TVs and video games and iPads and digital cameras. And this thing called a Cricket.
A cricket.
Yes.
Cricket.
If you watch late night TV, mainly infomercials, it's this basically amazing printer thing where you can make cards, and it involves like fancy cutouts and stuff like that. You can put them in fancy shapes and cardstock. It's amazing.
What happened to the old days of scissors and a ruler and...
Shut your mouth. No. No, it's just a really cool device that I saw on late night TV because I watch infomercials. That's what I do. No, but it was a lot of fun. We helped increase the spirits of children on floor 9A. Microsoft donated about 25 Xboxes, one for each room. Let me take that back. One for each TV on the floor.
Wow.
Because some of them have double rooms, like they're double rooms, and there's a curtain that separates, but each bed has its own TV. Well, each bed got its own Xbox.
That's awesome.
Nice.
IKEA donated some stuff, like fancy carts that lock that you store like games and headphones and stuff in. Everyone was extremely happy. The patients were really happy and excited that they didn't have to watch the crappy TV anymore. And the staff was really receptive and helped us out incredibly, a large amount. It was perfect.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
it was free ice cream day. So Ben
And
Jerry's,
that's why you're going to do Chachi Plays again next year.
Ben Jerry's was on one of the lower floors giving out free ice cream.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Nice.
it was awesome. A lot of fun.
Excellent. And of course, with us on the couch in studio, we've been, I guess we've been teasing you for a couple weeks because this is probably the longest out we've booked somebody.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I was on vacation and then I had to pick up flowers for the wedding, so it's been hell.
We've tracked him down. He's here with gadgets. You don't see it all off camera, but there are gadgets all around here,
Yes.
and we're going to be talking about some of them here.
Everywhere.
Because we went to Chilla's house a couple weeks ago because he had some extra stuff he was getting rid of, and we're like, dude, your house is like Jetsons. So
I thought it was the house of the future.
it's a house of the future, man. House of
You
the
sound like way better the last time we had you on. Last time we had you on, it was like you were inside of a tin can, inside of a blender, inside of a house.
which I think it was all the interference because he was in the house of the future.
I was transmitting back in time
Apparently,
to get to you.
Apparently, because he's so far ahead of us. Well, first, let's talk about that. Now, Chachi and I got the experience of this, and I guess these are the units.
So, hand a couple units over. So, real quick, there's a company, it's called X10. Hopefully they'll sponsor.
Oh, those things.
Yeah.
That's
So
why I'm looking into these.
So you take these devices and you plug them into the wall, and there's some switches on the front. You configure them. and then hand me that.
Which one?
This
guy? No, this
pin
thing.
pad. And then you can control all of your outlets from this. And there's also a computer module that's USB, and you can time everything as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're lying in bed, I can turn on my coffee maker, I can turn on the fan, the lamp.
Now,
the
is
light.
that your actual remote? Like, is that the one you use for everything?
Mm-hmm.
So, your other is at home with no remote to control?
Well, there's extra remote.
Okay.
This is the only, master remote with all the buttons.
Okay.
And these were extra, because this is for our air conditioner, and this is a repeater.
Okay.
Because I can't get signal all the way across the
Because
apartment.
we know your other. So, I can just imagine her sitting at home angry because you took the remote for all these things.
How
And
do
she
I
has to
turn-
get up.
Yeah.
How do I turn the light on in here? I don't
I was
know.
actually thinking, I forgot to reboot the Windows box, but I was going to log me in back to the Windows box and just start turning shit on and off.
That'd be awesome if we then had a Skype cam sitting in your apartment. Like, see, and I can turn the lights on and off like this, and then there's your. And then she's sitting there like, what in the?
Oh, I'd be getting a phone call.
Oh,
The
yeah.
house would be possessed.
Welcome to the AwesomeCast, Carla. That would be amazing. This is. Oh, here's one. Apparently, you can control this from your iPhone. It's pretty fantastic. Now, I got to. I was telling you. I remember I got a couple of those. It's called Home Director. Probably back in '96 with my IBM that we bought from Radio Shack. So of course, there's always the weird pack-in when you go to Radio Shack, right? And they don't look too much different than these boxes. Like, I even remember, these ones at least, I remember these little, unit identifiers and everything. So I'm wondering if it's any relation to that. I'm sure somebody out there knows, maybe if I look it up. But, and it works out pretty good.
Mm-hmm. No, I have started to, we do rent, but I have started to replace some of the light switches and power outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having this device, I can actually, in the wall, replace the outlet that was there.
Yeah, you showed us some of that. It's a very interesting kind of button touch surface thing that goes on there, and I think that's where I started seeing the problem with the system, because it's like explain all the motions you have to do.
So there's a button. It's a push button. It's one button. It's not a switch.
Yeah.
So what you do is you tap the button. The light either turns on or off. If you accidentally tap the button while it's dimming, it will stop the dim and freeze the light where it's at. You then have to hold the button in to turn the light back up, which it can be confusing. Now they came out with new ones, and they're pretty.
Fancy.
What it is it's actually a metal flat panel, and what you do is you just take your finger and you swipe up or swipe down on the panel, and that is the light switch. So you're actually just kind of almost like you would scroll up or down on an iPad. That's what you do to turn the light on or off. And if you stop halfway up or halfway down, it stays at that dim position. So I'm thinking I may need to already upgrade the light switches so the significant other doesn't lose her mind.
So, but that's then you have to upgrade your house.
I'm okay with upgrading that. People do in house repairs and they upgrade whatever. I can just upgrade my.
That's true. That's true. That's true. It's I'm really considering looking at this now.
It's relatively inexpensive for a starter kit.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they throw you all kinds of deals. You order once, you instantly start getting money back. You like them on Facebook, they give you more money, and you just pretty much then go crazy.
Yeah, every time I go on there, there's some they're having a free activation home week this week. Spend $50, get a brand new automation kit. They were selling I don't know how many units for $50 the one time I checked in here. It's x10.com, letter x10.com if you're interested. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they've been around for a while.
Yeah, I think since the 50s or something like that.
Since the 50s?
It's
doing this?
Yes.
No, not doing home automation stuff. They've been doing wireless video cameras forever. They started doing wireless video cameras in the 70s is how far that goes.
Yeah.
They started doing home automation in the 90s.
And I did have the video camera kit. It was pretty decent. It would actually turn on your VCR for a period of time if the motion sensor got tripped. So
turn on the VCR to play something?
No, to record what's coming from the video. a buddy of mine, what got me into the equipment was a friend of mine at work had a dog that was constantly going to the bathroom in their yard, and they wanted to actually take it to the local court or whatnot. So they bought the video camera, a motion detector, and this device that plugged into their VCR. When the motion detector tripped, it sent the signal to the box. It tripped the infrared on the front of the VCR to press record. It had a 10-minute timer, and then it would press stop. So every time someone walked in front of the video camera, it would record for 10 minutes and stop.
Wow.
They used it. They got whatever they wanted, and then he sold it to me for 50% what he paid.
That's awesome. Because I can imagine, because like that's kind of the problems I've seen is like, you know, I could set up a webcam and it could record, but then you'd have this giant video file somewhere. You know, whether, you know, Ustream will only do 2 hours. I was trying to just set something up in Ustream so I could see what the dog's doing, right? And there's that limitation, and you know, I don't want to just, you know, have a drive and it's like, okay, so I got to remember to delete this, or else it won't record stuff. If they were doing that with VCRs, who knows what they're doing?
Well, I mean, have you seen iTV? The I think it's EYE TV. They sell the USB dongles that
dongle.
They sell the USB dongles that pretty much get you TV. Whether it's over the air or you plug your cable box into it or whatnot. I'm sure you could integrate it with that and put a timer on your machine and do a timed recording based on something being tripped.
That's awesome.
Worked pretty well.
So x10.com to check that out. Now you got a bunch of other gadgets here.
Yeah, we're going to try to get through some of these real quick.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about those?
Actually, I want to talk about...
Or is that the finale?
No, we can talk about some of this stuff in a minute. So keyboards... They work well. There's a company called Targus. They make an expensive... Feel that.
Yeah. We were talking about this before the show. This is really light. Really, like, it feels like I'm going to break it in half.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to crack it.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just so thin.
Hold that up.
Right there.
Targus has been making accessories for ages. They're made a fortune making accessories for Palm devices. Like the Razor and stuff.
I mean, when you feel it compared to that, the killer is it's more expensive.
And this is the regular. For audio listeners, maybe this is a we got Apple. This is a Bluetooth keyboard that usually comes with your iMacs, and the Targus is this black plastic thing that's about the same size and everything. Now you know what's the benefit for one versus the other here?
Well, what happened was I called Targus and said, "Hey, I'm looking at buying a mass quantity of iPads, and I'm interested in your accessories."
Yeah.
So they sent me one of every of their best sellers.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent me the keyboard. They sent me this nice... This bag is awesome. I mean, everything that I can fit in there. They sent me a stylus, which we went over the stylus. Now, one of the things that they're not taking into consideration is...
You showed us this. This is funny. That you would oversight engineering of this magnitude.
So they have all these great accessories that fit all together. So you have a stylus, and it has actually the capacitive for the iPad, and it's a pen. Once you take the top off the pen, you now have nowhere to put it. It doesn't fit anywhere when you want to write.
I bet you they sell replacements of the cap on their website for about $10 a piece.
The other thing,
it's creating new markets. It's thinking outside the box, creating new markets, selling you pen caps.
They sent me this really nice charge kit, which you'll probably appreciate. It charges any two devices at once, and it has removable nubs, so I can charge a netbook and a BlackBerry or an iPhone and anything that's mini USB. They sell the universal charge plate for it, which this device plugs into, but then you can ditch this, and this will actually plug into a cigarette adapter.
Nice.
And then they send you every tip that you want for free via their website. Nice. So as new tips come out, they will send them to you. I don't know if it has to be a corporate plan, but you just go out to the website, and I think you pay shipping.
Now explain. You mentioned like your clients and everything. For those who don't know, like I don't know how much you want to mention who you work for or anything. But you tell people what you do, that you end up with testing this kind of stuff.
So I've been working on I work for a company in Pittsburgh, and they're working on a mobility strategy for their employees. We employ about 63,000 people in a whole multitude of states. But the theory is that in today's day and age, you may have an hour free at work where you can go do whatever you want, but maybe you need to be able to keep track of your email, or maybe you will just be on the road you'll be a road warrior. You're on the road all the time, and you're going to take a smaller device. People are tired of carrying 7-pound laptops.
Oh yeah.
We're actually looking to, when a new employee gets hired, they'll actually be able to pick potentially laptop, desktop, iPad.
Nice.
So instead of, that's what you'll be issued as your
And then you're
corporate
not
device.
forcing somebody into the iPad, into the new technology, the new way of doing things if they're like, well, I'm used to this. I'm
Correct.
used to having a Windows machine, Mac machine, whatever.
Right.
So
You can get whatever you want. And we actually did start recently also introducing Macs into our environment. We only
Excellent.
have, out of about 70,000 machines, there's actually only 60 Macs on the network, but they're completely integrated into our environment. So
Excellent.
that's pretty cool.
Excellent.
One of the other things that they sent me, yet again, if you can hand me the bottom leather case.
Jeez. I'm like, yeah, bring some gadgets over. He brought everything.
Beautiful leather case. It's great. Fits the iPad.
Yeah, yeah.
You have room for business cards. You have an actual like squeegee type thing to clean off.
Oh, let me test that.
there
My
you
screen
go.
sucks, so let me see how that works there. Oh wow. Oh wow. I just want this.
We are not sponsored
Can I-
by Targus.
Is this still Targus?
Yep.
This
We're not
thing,
getting any kickbacks from this.
this is amazing. What's this like your old your what was that your gel cleaner that you were talking about the one time, Rob? This is what I feel like. This is amazing. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
I'm in an infomercial.
But real quick, we'll leave their product line in 1 second. Because like I said, their devices, while they're great and pretty by themselves,
Yeah,
their own case doesn't fit in the bag
that came with it.
that came.
That came with it. I mean, you can record it.
Sorry. Yeah, this is how far it sticks out.
Wow.
You can no longer zipper the bag shut.
Can you still like this? You got the snap here.
You
Does
got
it
the
still
snap.
come over? So I have to. No, not even. It's a stretch. If you got to put some elbow grease into it, it's so. Is it just like the case manufacturer isn't talking? Wait, is this?
It's this is from the same company.
Yeah, but I mean, it's what the case people aren't talking to the back people, and this is marketed to put an iPad in, right? And it will fit an iPad by itself.
What number episode is this?
46.
Yeah, AwesomeCast episode number 46. This Targus product does not work with this Targus product.
So
Well, Targus, I mean, they make a handful of good things. They've ever been known for like making a like vast quantity of very high quality products that fit together.
Yeah.
and it's interesting some of the junk. I actually brought this. You can keep this.
I can keep this.
You can keep this.
Wait, is it because it's that bad?
I have no clue who made this product because I opened it up and I'm like, this looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's actually
It's like a stand.
It's a stand,
Yeah.
and it actually takes the port,
No.
so it
Give
fits
me
the iPad.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
It fits the iPad in a nice stand. And one of the things they market it as is you can also turn your iPad on its side, and it will stand up. It does tend to fall over when it's on its side, but it does convert the charge port to a regular everyday mini USB. So you don't need the proprietary Apple connector anymore because it's built in. But if you feel this, I mean,
No, wait.
I think it costs 25 cents to
It
manufacture.
does. It's plastic. It feels chintzier than that laptop or the keyboard. And then, wait. So it's got the connector here.
And
It's got a thing in the
mini
side. I
USB.
got you.
So you don't need Apple's proprietary. But when you put the iPad in there, so your iPad sticks out on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and then the thing's kind of like fallen over. It's just not all what it's cracked up to be.
And of course, you can't use it if you have your iPad naked,
Yes.
or only if you have your iPad
Yeah.
naked, at least. So
I have the HDMI connector for the iPad, which
Mhm.
works amazingly well.
now, what have you tested that with? Now, I've seen like Andy Anako on Mac Break Weekly has had a monitor behind him, and he'll have the iPad behind him on that monitor.
Correct.
To
It
show
mirrors
stuff off.
everything on the device.
That sounds fantastic.
Which originally I was using the VGA connector, and there's a product,
Mm-hmm.
software product that has like a web browser and a document viewer and some other pieces of software, because we're looking at how we're going to integrate these with projectors and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the VGA connector only worked with an application that was written,
like something like Netflix or something.
and I don't know if Netflix even is VGA
Might not support
adapter.
it. Yeah.
May not support
Yeah.
it. So you really had to think about what you were trying to do.
And then this is everything.
It's a complete mirror.
Now, the only problem I've heard of, and I don't know if this is a kind of a preference thing, but a lot of them, like when they're demonstrating apps, you can't see the key presses or the page presses, like the touch press.
Correct.
So, which could be a little weird because but
Yeah, you don't.
I
Because
don't
I
know.
don't have a mouse, so
yeah,
you don't see
it's a
where
little
I'm
bit weird. You
clicking.
see stuff, so like, oh, you just click this, but they don't actually see you clicking this, as opposed to when we do screen captures, maybe with demonstrations on a PC on a Mac. So I can see where that could be an issue, but really, I think that's pretty fantastic. If you're showing off a game, you're showing off, this is how this works. I mean, I think that's understood. Because, there's no cursor, so people don't expect it.
Yeah, we're actually looking. It's basically for showing off PowerPoint and
Keynote.
whatnot.
That's why Keynote's on the thing.
Right.
At the last week at the trade show I was at, which is like considered the biggest cardiology trade show in the world, Philips had a booth, and they had, I think they had probably like 10 iPads or so, and each one was hooked up to probably a 30-inch cinema display. And they were just using it as a way to provide slideshows and stuff like that as a cheap gimmick with an iPad.
And much like we were talking, I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, we're actually using the iPad to market to younger generations so we look more trendy,
Yeah.
which is quite sad. But
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that, but it works.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite thing that I got, and I actually liked it so much, I purchased my own. Zagmate.
This I liked. This I don't know why I like this keyboard concept.
Zagmate made and it's airport aluminum is the cover. You pretty much, and this isn't going to work right because this.
Oh, do you want mine?
Yeah.
I got it first.
This
Jen.
doesn't fit.
I'm old school over here. I got the old busted. It's all right. I know you got your cool new toys. Here's an original iPad.
So you can take your iPad and you literally place it
right
in here, and it's sponge so it doesn't come back out.
It better not now. It's my iPad.
You then take the iPad back out, and it is a keyboard. The keyboard dock actually pops up into place, and I can place the iPad in any of the appropriate positions.
And it
like
Bluetooth.
And it Bluetooth. So Carla's actually been using this to write her blog to write different.
I was always kind of
types of-
skeptical, wanted the keyboard, but always skeptical about it until you showed me that. I'm like, granted, the whole case concept doesn't work for me because I use this thing, and I need a case because I'm clumsy as all hell. So I need something to protect this thing. But even as something extra, like I could see this, like just kind of going like this and sticking it in my bag, and I'm good to go. It's big enough. I'm not worried about. The keys are protected by its size, if it's up against something like this. So I think that's enough for me at that point.
Well, and it's interesting because I can fit this in the bag, even separate from the iPad.
Yeah.
But I can't fit one of the keyboards in there. So I'm stuck.
One of those other keyboards we were looking at?
Right.
So, yeah, because this is a little bit of a thinner. Yeah, the keys are a little bit thinner. It's kind of like when you buy one of those smaller laptops kind of going on there. So... Oh, there's a camera there. Yeah, this is the Zagmate, and I've actually started seeing ads for this since you showed it to me. So,
and it's a very nice product.
Oh yeah. So, but not entirely compatible with the new one. You say?
Most cases for the original iPad do not fit the iPad
because it's like 1/8 of an inch smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
all the buttons are on the radius instead of being on a flat side like they were before.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I will say is there's a couple kids in South Park or South Hills Village. They're the only ones that have a back protector for the iPad 2 right now. So I'm really enjoying that. I don't have to worry about scratching.
Not that you can really show off here, but it's just.
it
looks thin. But for you, I don't know if it comes off on camera real well, but it's shiny. Instead of the metal, there's a shine like there's. Like the screen surface on the side.
And like what Rob was talking about with the bezel and it not being flat.
Yeah.
It's actually cut perfectly for the device.
And so, what, they're hand making this?
No, they sit there in the mall. They have a dehumidifier. They attach it, and off you go.
Wow.
And they were actually pretty nice to cut me a deal on the cover.
What's the service usually?
I think it's $35 normally.
35. That's compared to cases.
Time out.
What's up?
There's a Backblaze pop-up. It says the computer is low on disk space.
Okay, let it go. Cancel it.
I started freaking out. Sorry. All right.
It's all right, but it looks like it's still recording and everything.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you were
All right.
aware of this.
All right. We'll edit that in later. And I think I still have a link if you want to get back, Blaze, on AwesomeCast.com.
Sorry.
No, yeah, that thing's running low. I need to fix that. Anyways.
And last but not least, I did actually acquire a Motorola Zoom tablet.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi only.
Wi-Fi only.
And you know what? I'm actually becoming part of. I don't want to pay for cellular service for my devices. I would actually rather walk around with a hotspot.
I noticed, and you walked right in here with one. You have a clear,
and it's getting the red means it's low signal, yellow's medium.
Well, that's interesting.
And the blue is the Wi-Fi being on, and then it will go green from time to time. It's actually bouncing off the Sprint WiMAX towers. So they're, I'm guessing, buying time off there. This is Apple only.
Really?
Which you pay half the price for a monthly bill. It's $25 a month. You can connect up to 8 Apple iOS devices.
Not Mac.
Yeah.
Not Mac.
iOS.
iOS.
Well, they're trying to make sure there's a bunch of mobile hotspot type things where they will tier it based on the idea is if you're using a mobile device, you're not going to be using nearly as much bandwidth as you will on an actual laptop.
A friend of mine at work, actually, his Sprint, he went through 28 gig last month.
On what?
He has the Droid. It's the bigger Droid, whatever it is.
Oh,
I
think it's a Droid 2, isn't it?
I don't know if it's a Droid 2 or the Droid
X.
Yeah,
the one manager has that. It's like, oh, that thing's huge.
But we were fighting with Verizon over their unlimited plan versus this versus that, and he's like, I couldn't afford to be on Verizon.
Yeah. Well, I know we're paying $35 for 2 gigabytes on Verizon, and it's just like, and we've hit that like 2 months already, and we've had to pay the overage, and it's like, wow. Well, of course, there's laptops and iPads on it, and I think my wife, she's. I know we both have Wi-Fi models, so we're doing it like we're on a laptop. You can push that easy on an iPad, and when we bought it for the iPad, so I mean that's we've had that debate on here before. It's just when you start counting minutes like that or gigabytes like that, I think you run into a big problem. So
but that's actually truly unlimited, and it's $25 flat a month.
No throttling. They're not throttling or anything.
They're not. From what I know, they're not. I like Cricket. I know throttles on their unlimited.
Yeah,
they're not throttling, but you are limited to where there's a WiMAX tower.
Yeah.
So sometimes I lose signal. Like when I go to Youngstown, I don't have any signal.
Yeah.
But you're bound to what you're bound to.
Stop going.
But if well, it's Youngstown. Stop going. But if you're somebody that travels from metropolitan. Man, I always forget how to say words on Tuesday night. Yes, to other city place.
It works in New York City.
For you.
It works.
Yeah,
I mean, it works.
It works. Here, I'm dropping from Pittsburgh to Dallas to New York to LA. I'm good. You know. Whereas I know for our job, we go to they go to steel plants, and I think we were on AT&T, went to Verizon. They need that outer fringe service. They couldn't go to a T-Mobile or a Sprint because of that. The coverage. The coverage is important at that point. So, anyways, back to the Zoom, which I know I've torn apart their commercials and stuff here.
And I agree with you on the commercial. The device is intuitive to a point. Mm-hmm. It's not iOS intuitive, but it's not. Okay. It's not as terrible as Windows 7. I
put it up. I don't know if we can see the interface on the camera there. We'll see in a second. But it's I don't know. We got icons down here. We got your usual widgets up here.
It's a big Android phone. That's what it is.
You played with this a little bit.
He needed help with an app.
I needed help with an app.
Yes.
So
Get Glue, you have a problem
with. Well,
Get
Glue. If you can figure out Get Glue, more power to you because you launch it and it freezes.
Yeah.
But no, what it was I was trying to add a clock
to the middle.
Yeah. And it rendered as if it was a phone, so I had to actually scroll up, but there was nothing in. there was no buttons between here and the bottom, so I thought it was the end of the app, and I'm like, okay, I'm guessing on the phone I use
You would
something.
use a button. Yeah.
So, multitasking, you have to find an app killer so you can actually kill it. I do find where if I launch too many apps, other apps will crash.
But you know what? I have that on my iPhone now.
Oh, do you?
Like I'm having that. That's just multitasking, and that's the problem that comes with it. Like I'm like, oh, Angry Birds is running slow. I got to restart yesterday, and it's just I ran it for 3 days. I have Latitude on in the background. You know, I've started to do the check-in thing, so that's always running, and it's gonna happen.
There's an app for that. For killing all your apps on iOS. I think it's called like Xinfosys.
Of course there is.
Or something like that.
Well,
it's like 99 cents.
I had to find one to figure out if I had the problem where that was sapping my battery with the last iOS update, the one before this last point update. So yeah. Well, anyways, we can.
The interface, if you look panning around, it's not. Oh, it's 3D. Not. I mean, sort of. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's sort of.
They did it with the background's what makes it look 3D.
Yeah, it's just like the phones. The background's moving that little bit to give that subtle, like, multi-layer shift thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting.
I will say, Angry Birds is free on Android, which is quite nice. I don't have to keep blowing money on that.
Yes.
The other thing I noticed is there are certain apps like Twitter that you can tell was rendered for a phone, and the text is extremely small.
Now, this is a thing that they just haven't gone around to making a lot of apps for this yet.
But it's not like the iOS device where I can tell it, make it normal size.
Yeah.
Like it was on the phone.
It's forcing everything.
It's forcing everything, which if you look at the apps and I launch Get Glue, this is what I get, and that's as far as you get.
Yeah, it looks kind of rough, you know. It looks.
Other one.
Oh, we're on this one now.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks a little iffy.
Well, that's because I don't
it's
know.
Stretching it.
No,
like
it's not even that.
Yeah.
For the first, I don't know, month or so, when Get Glue releases its product for a new device, it doesn't work.
Really?
They rush it.
Okay. They're trying to get it out there.
Right.
All I want is my Android sticker.
I don't know. I don't know if you've used it, if you noticed it on the iPhone at all. But for the first, I don't know, 2-3 weeks when it was first on there, it just didn't work.
It was a little crashy, yeah, I think so.
It was extremely buggy.
And I noticed it's getting, it looks like it got a refresh on the iPhone that I have not seen. Like, there's a new style to it, and it hasn't come over to the iPad yet.
Right.
So,
who was it that went through the same thing? Foursquare, they've been majorly updating.
and
And I noticed I was rather upset last night. I was watching TV, and I'm actually not allowed to watch commercials at home. But somehow a commercial came on, and
Android commercials piss you off.
no, Carla gets like furious. We're not allowed to watch live TV. Everything has to be DVR. You have to fast forward through stuff.
Wow.
But somehow a commercial slipped in, and it was for Verizon Fios. And then they talked about how they have this brand new great technology where you can check into what you're watching and earn badges.
Wow. Wait, do they actually send you the badges though?
No.
See?
Which I will give Get Glue.
Right.
Actually, Get Glue, we were talking about on the wrestling show, the Tough Enough on USA, the reality show they just started up for WWE. They have. I was surprised to find when somebody told me there's apps for iPad, iPhone, separate apps. Android has it too, and there's a Get Glue button in the app that will go ahead and check it in for you.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's Get Glue coming back around. But you know,
so this is what you get.
Yeah, it doesn't go any further. Oh, there's no interface. I get a picture. It says, "Hi, Get Glue."
Maybe Chachi can figure it out.
Chachi here. See if he can figure it out. You can figure out the X Zoom pad there. Don't forget the switch.
Wow, you just want me to do everything.
Yes, that's why you're in that seat. Like you're looking at the back.
I was looking for the button.
The only buttons on the device are the power, the on-off button, and the volume controls. I am a little upset that they still do not have drivers built for the micro SD card slot. So the expandable memory
that you
is
can't
useless.
use. It seems like it's always the point. Like I know when the Windows Phone came out, there's like, well, you can use certain cards, but we really don't know, and Microsoft won't tell us because I don't think they know which cards will work with this phone. You know,
all they did was port the Android phone one over.
But you can use a micro SD card in your phone. There are phones that have mic.
Oh, no,
why not port the port over?
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the Get Glue app.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
And Motorola's taken a lot of flack for it, and I feel bad for them because they're saying we have to wait for Google because they're I don't know if you read, the code is not open source yet.
I think, did we talk about that last? Yes, we
I
did.
apologize.
We talked about the Appleization of Google, I think, last week. And Rob, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that a little bit since we're on that topic.
What?
The Android 3 OS is not released to the public in open source format.
Didn't I talk about that like 2 weeks ago?
Did we? Oh, maybe we did.
Yeah, I did. I went off on a little thing about how Google is one of the most closed platforms you can invest in these days.
That's right. I don't have a long-term memory.
Whoa.
What?
Did you get it to work?
No, you have a missed call.
Wait, on the
Yeah,
on the Zoom.
on the Zoom.
Because I use Umail. Which
Okay.
I don't know if you use that, but it'll text me, it sends me an email, and all kinds of pretty fun stuff. And when you call me, if you're in my address book, it'll say, "Hello, Mike."
Yeah, it's here. I'll show you this, but it's been about 5 minutes,
Yeah,
and we're still
on that screen.
at the loading screen.
Yeah, there you go.
And I don't know what's supposed to happen after that because I don't have another Android device.
No, here, I'll show you. Because I use Get Glue. But it loads.
It loads. He's showing us.
Yeah.
And then it goes in that. And then show.
That's
they're
what's
like,
supposed to
that's what
happen.
it's supposed to look
Yeah,
like.
that's
Show them on the camera too while you're at it.
Yeah, here, let me switch back. But I mean, here, on my mini Android device, you load Get Glue.
Or your normal sized Android
There's a loading
device.
screen, and then a few seconds later, you get your choices. I mean,
The mystery solved.
right. And that's what's supposed to happen on this app. And we're still at this. Now, I'm kind of starting to believe that it's because you're not on Wi-Fi.
No, because I have it on Wi-Fi at home all
Right.
the time.
It does the same
Oh,
thing.
It does the same thing.
All right,
Okay.
that was just an idea, but I mean, yeah, it's doing crap.
X Zoom.
It is seriously stuck.
But they do give you a really nice, like, clear... It would actually be cool if... Pull the micro SD fake card out of it.
Where's it
They
at?
give you this
Oh, right
nice,
here.
clear micro SD card. I'm like, this would be cool if this is what micro SD cards look like.
Oh, wow. that
It's
is-
like the future.
Wow. Here, let me...
They'll see it because it's clear.
Oh, they'll see it.
That's it.
Yeah, you can see it because of the writing, but it's seriously a little clear micro SD
I
card.
mean, wouldn't it be cool if your micro SD cards looked like
I
that?
lose them all.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Here, be careful, don't lose it.
I'm completely going to lose it. This is a bad idea to give this to me. Replace with micro SD only after Android system update. This is my problem. This is what I go back to. It's like, great, we got a tablet, and it's this awesome tablet, and we had a Super Bowl ad, even though we didn't have a release date, and we got it out there, and there's all these caveats, you know? Same with the Windows Phone. Hey, we got this great phone, and we're not iPhone, but we don't have copy and paste.
And they slammed iPhone forever for not having copy and paste.
Everybody did. But we're going back to, we had this discussion the other day about, like, the Droid. Droid does this, iPhone don't. And now Verizon's like, the God phone's here, finally. Where were you guys? I'm like, with the T-Mobile commercials, they're thrashing AT&T, who just bought them. You know?
Well, and I don't think that sales.
Well, no,
goes
that's,
through, but
what's that? At this point, it's looking less likely. But, it's gonna kill the market as far as that goes. But,
now, interestingly enough, I had a conversation with Verizon 2 weeks ago, and they've pushed their Windows Phone deployment back
Again.
to July, from what I'm being told. And past that, they said that they're probably not even going to put one out.
that's, man.
Which I'm surprised at. Now,
But
maybe
this
things will
is-
change with the Symbian Nokia Microsoft team up.
Yeah.
But
I'm just...
what are you looking at?
Yeah, you look like
Okay.
you're investigating this thing. I thought you were gonna lick it.
No. Whoa.
Look, can you apply the lick test to the Zoom, Chachi? Tastes like honeycomb.
Crap.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, no, I use an iPad every week on the 2 shows we do.
Yes. Not the third, but the two.
Right. So I'm able to sit there and compare the devices. Now, as you know, Apple encloses everything. You can't open the iPad 2 unless you have the right tool, or the iPad unless you have the right tools.
Yeah,
And then even then,
I mean,
I don't know if it's possible.
what screws on this?
It is possible.
Okay. Well,
I've opened my iPhone. I
okay.
haven't.
Well, there's no screws.
It takes like a sucker and everything.
Every Apple device is openable and serviceable as much as any other devices.
I'm sure it is. But
Oh my god.
my point is, where are the screws at on that sword?
Pencil and the
Hey,
I'm sorry. We're looking at our iPads and we're like, why
we're
not?
mocking your Zoom over there.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. You have fun
Where's-
with your Zoom.
where's the screws?
I don't know. I don't-
Exactly.
This defies physics. to me.
You know what? They probably have a special tool that's magnetized that rotates something under the glass.
Well, actually, Rob, didn't you talked about taking an iPhone apart before? Isn't there like a sucker thing you got to use?
Well, with they use a sort of it's like a combination pressure fit and mild adhesive. So like with the iPhone 3, 3GS, and the 4, basically you remove the 2 screws in the dock and then take a suction cup and you put it on the glass and pull up just a little bit and the whole thing will pop apart and you have full access to the innards. And it's pretty much the same deal with the iPad, just a little bit more.
Yeah. Except that the only difference I see is like we were just looking. The iPhone 4 and 3GS we have here have the screws on the bottom. I don't see any screws in the iPad.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no screws in the iPad. It's more prying. There's a couple safety clips along the sides, I believe. And once you find them, you're good to go.
Exactly.
It's kind of
Well,
like
I hear-
taking apart
I
there's
hear-
an old iPod that had like
how
no screws, and the
secure-
only way to get it open was to like
That's how-
pry the side open with a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
I upgraded the memory in my Mac Mini.
Yeah.
And that's all pry apart. There's no.
Well,
once you get
is
the
that one of
case
the
off,
older ones? Because
Yeah, is that an old one or a new one?
It's the last gen of the old
Okay,
one.
because
It's
the new
not-
one you just turn a thing on the bottom and everything's
Yeah.
accessible now.
The new ones are
That's
like
right.
magic. I've been disassembling those for like a couple weeks for a project we have. They're like magic and fairies.
It is magic.
It is. You
magical.
like when
Steve
you
Jobs was
actually
right.
figure out how to take this thing apart. You open the bottom, right? Yeah, sure, that's part of it. You take out like 5 screws, and then you disconnect a bunch of things, and then there's 2 holes. It's not screwed in or anything. There's 2
It's-
holes. You jam in 2 things that are of equal size, and you pull towards you, and the whole inside of the thing just slips out. Where all the connectors are just pops right out.
There you go.
It's amazing.
So, how secure in your device do you have to be to not have a screw on the outside?
Well, it's not so much not having a screw as much as it is having an alternative.
Yeah.
And I've had PC cases. I'm trying to remember the company that made them. They were all screwless,
Right.
Yeah.
and everything was clip based.
Right.
Even once you got it
Dells.
in, the drive cages were
a
actually
lot of
I
the
don't know if you
the
can-
Dells.
I don't know if you can see that,
Mm-hmm.
but there's the screws.
There's holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ports.
There's a lot more to it. Like they
Yeah.
put all these ports
But
on
you
there.
gotta, they may have they haven't disclosed yet. They may have to take it apart at least, and that's a mimic of the Verizon, without obviously any phone cell
Mhm.
chip in there. But it's a mimic. So, and they're saying they haven't released yet if they have to take the device apart to upgrade it to LTE.
Wow.
Wait, what do you mean by a mimic with this?
Update.
Yeah, what's that?
Get glue opened.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same thing as the Verizon
I'm just going back to the
cell
screen.
enabled
I wanna play.
device.
Chachi's playing with this.
From the form factor and the device spec, it's the same exact external internal guts without the connection capability. I only have Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Well, it's better than what was that other tablet? That
The
you
Apple Newton.
that you made me play with at the Verizon store.
Oh, the tab.
Galaxy
Galaxy Tab.
That was terrible. This is better than that.
Which they're saying the Galaxy Tab may get an OS upgrade and it's going to fix everything magically.
No.
Don't they always say that? They've said that about the Windows devices for a while.
They said that about Windows ME.
An update will fix it. It'll be fine.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No?
it's not gonna happen.
No, you're giving up on the Get Glue
Well,
thing.
no, it's not only that, but if I'm gonna waste money on a tablet,
Yeah.
like if I ever get to the point,
You want
where
one that works?
exactly.
And the camera, It's interesting because like everyone rants about the iPad camera quality.
Wait, how do I turn it on?
The button in the back.
The one button in the back that's hidden from me. Wait. I just see myself. Oh, there it is.
Now slide the lock.
Oh, this is so weird. But yeah,
it's
it's like
the future.
It's the future. Because I don't understand it. It's the future. I mean, that's well, I've had this a couple times.
Fire up the camera.
You pick up the Android. I pick up an Android, and wow, this camera is not.
It's
real
washed
great.
out.
It is.
I mean,
very
yay!
washed
It's
out.
5 megapixel and it sucks.
I don't know. Can you see that? There's me. It's gonna be very meta if this works at all.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Oh, ooh.
But the camera quality, I don't
It's
care
rough.
what megapixel you're at. It
Oh,
looks
yeah.
terrible.
5 megapixel says HD video, and we all know how the
There,
iPad is working with that. What's
Are
that?
there third-party applications for the camera yet?
There are a couple. I haven't played with them. Skype has the camera. I think Skype has the ability to camera. You can Skype.
The Skype is definitely the cell version.
Just
Because a lot of the
expand it.
time, it's either the quality of the lens that they put on it, the
Mhm.
quality of the firmware they're using, or it's just crappy software, which is it has a tendency of being.
So I can get a software upgrade and it's going to fix my camera.
It's very possible, yeah.
If it was as rushed out as they say it is, I mean, yeah.
Quick, who's got a digital camera? Just copy the
You're gonna have
flash
to,
memory from it and stick it in it. We need a camera that
no,
works.
Wi-Fi.
You're not on.
Oh, don't worry about
Okay.
that. I'm just messing. Yeah, it's.
Hey, guys, I gotta go.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
Just
Rob.
gotta, yeah, 8:00 is my limit. It's 8:10, so I gotta
Passive bedtime.
go.
All right, Rob.
I will be here next week and the week after. So.
Excellent. We'll try to get these timed back up for you here.
All right, bye, Rob.
All right, thanks, Rob. Check him out,
Love you.
robjdlc.com for all the
Yep.
crazy stuff he's got going on. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
I mean,
follow my
especially with all of his traveling, it's amazing.
All right,
Peace out.
bye, Rob.
All right, later, man. But well, like, I was just about to get to some news real quick before we get out of here.
I was gonna ask, but you know, we can touch on some stuff.
Touch on some stuff real quick. Thank you for bringing all the stuff.
Yeah, no problem.
Because we talk about a lot of stuff, but we don't have a chance to get it because we're on a podcast budget here.
And if you actually need anything, I've actually been approved. If we need to bring loaner equipment from certain companies, I could probably score some.
We'll talk off air.
Yeah.
So
All right, so let's get to some news. So I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago.
okay,
I had a brilliant idea.
yeah,
Blockbuster was going bankrupt.
yes,
I said we would collect $40 from 6 different people and offer them like $360 for the company. Was that Blockbuster?
$240.
that was Blockbuster.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
somebody else
It was
too.
$240. No, you were right.
He's doing
$240.
creative math.
Yeah, I was. Math and I don't get along. Well, it didn't go through.
There's no calculator on the iPad.
No, you have to
What the
download
hell?
an app.
Dish
I had to
Network.
download it. What the hell?
Will you stop it?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the calculations here real quick.
It was like 6 people times $40.
Yeah,
So
I
6
know.
times 4
I
is
know.
24.
Yeah,
So.
right.
I know. I just want to see how many people they got to ship in $40 for this.
Oh, okay. But Dish Network won the Blockbuster auction for $228 million. So,
Which means they got 5,700,000 people to chip in $40 to buy Blockbuster. That's
No, that
probably their
means
entire-
5,700,000 are getting their cable rate raised $40 a month.
There you go.
it says they partially answered the question of what's next for Blockbuster.
Mhm.
Dish Network bid $320 million originally
Mhm.
in bankruptcy court.
Wait, they bid it and it
Yes.
went down?
Yes, after it says here after
No, that's too much. I'm sorry.
after certain adjustments were made, the deal closed. It's expected to close at $228 million.
Would Blockbuster own anything else? I mean, is it possible that they only got a portion
They have
of...
streaming, they have Blockbuster, and the boxes you see at Sheets, like the red box, but Blockbuster are licensed.
Okay.
They're not owned by Blockbuster was a thing. Because I remember when they came out, they emailed all their customers and said, hey, we're not going bankrupt. We just have the Blockbuster name. We're actually this company.
So apparently, that bought It says here, and I'm gonna read and quote this because I think it's hilarious. But it says, "What exactly Dish plans to do with the 1,700 stores and innumerable copies of Little Fockers is unclear." However, Dish VP Tom Collins stated in a press release that Dish looks forward to reestablishing Blockbuster's brand as a leader in video entertainment.
Okay.
So apparently Dish Network has high hopes for what's going to happen with them purchasing Blockbuster.
Well, you got to think about what they actually went across this on a show I listened to last week, because Dish Network also bought Slingbox. And you're like, oh, they're going to do some crossover thing. You can get special Dish Sling. No, Slingbox is still Slingbox. They haven't done anything. Thankfully, they haven't made it exclusive to Dish or anything like that. But still, so you're not going to have. Well, one thing they were saying, okay, there's all these Blockbuster stores they can sell Dish Network in now. Because if you're out in the middle of nowhere where you would sell Dish, more likely than not, it's hard to put up a dish in the city a lot of times because of other buildings, or you're in an apartment or something. But it's a lot easier when you're out in the middle of nowhere and probably don't have cable.
So yeah, that's what happened with Blockbuster. I'm sorry, my bid didn't go through.
We tried.
Yes.
I mean, we gave it the good old college try.
We did.
And
hopefully we hear back from MySpace.
Yeah,
I offered them the same deal.
Yeah.
So if we hear back from MySpace, I'll let you guys know, because there will be a giant closing party.
I think we definitely have a lot more mileage out of MySpace than Blockbuster.
Right.
So,
feel
good about that.
Hopefully that goes through, and we'll have a huge party at which I will shut MySpace down, and we will auction off MySpace.com.
How do you pronounce? Oh, now Riz says, "Isn't it my?" and he put the underscores.
Yes.
So how do we pronounce that? My?
No, it's MySpace still.
Okay.
The underscore represents a space.
Okay. Breaking it down.
Yeah.
Breaking it down.
So it's still MySpace. It still needs closed down.
You should buy my_.com and launch a alternate MySpace.
Is that
you
a valid
underscores?
Is that a valid
I don't know.
domain?
Hold
You
on.
know what? Let's look it up.
Let's go to GoDaddy.
Yep.
And let's see.
All right, you do that. We'll move on to the next.
see.
Let's see.
Well, I wanted to talk about real quick.
We'll get there.
Okay.
I know what you want to talk about. So apparently Sony is trash talking now.
We started a little bit on this last week because remember they let the iPhone 5 go.
Sony is trash talking in a big way.
How many underscores do you think I should put on this?
Just one. Sony's Jack Tretton said Nintendo.
Invalid character.
Yeah, see, I told you. If MySpace would have bought it already, or Facebook, one of
They
the
don't
two.
have
It would
enough
have been the
money to
second
buy
coming.
it.
Yeah. Sony's Jack Tretton, in a press conference, said that Nintendo makes babysitting toys.
Tools.
Tools.
Same thing.
And that no self-respecting 20-something is going to be sitting on an airplane with one of those. Self-respecting. I'm trying to think about all the people I saw at the Art Institute with Nintendo DSs and Game Boys. I mean, they don't have the cool factor.
You know what?
But they still have the Pokemon.
You know what?
They have Mario.
I've covered this in an episode of Chachi Says.
You did.
I'm not going to repeat the title of said episode. But,
It's making everyone go through the entire archive.
Was it the EverQuest one?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
That is, as Chachi Says the Hat for Chachi Says the Man.
Oh, right.
Is the name of the episode.
That's right, because the other name was not a good
Appropriate.
title.
No, we had to bleep that.
Yeah. There was a lot of bleeps in that
I
episode.
tried to save that one.
So, Mr. Trenton, as I said in this episode, if you make something that works, something that is good, then we'll play it. But until that time, stop trash talking and get your broke behind back in the lab until you come out with something good.
He's so angry.
You know what?
Angry.
F Sony.
I actually owned a Sony PSP for quite some time. Because I was one of the sad non AT&T subscribers that I couldn't get an iPad or an iPhone. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a PSP and I'm gonna play my games
And I'm gonna feel good about it.
and I'm gonna get
screw you, iPhone
headphones. I'm going to get headphones, and I'm going to throw it in my bag, and I'm going to be able to listen to my MP3s, and I'm going to be able to watch video, and it's going to be great.
Now,
And you know what? I owned it for a week and a half. It sucked.
Thank
That
you.
bad. That bad.
So, Sony, get your ass back in the lab and don't come out until you have something good.
Well,
the end.
But they're trying so hard, Josh. They have the
No.
Android tablet,
No.
the PlayStation Android tablet coming out. They got the Sony Xperia with the PlayStation Store. Going back to the well with the old PS1 games,
I don't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear it.
No, until you come out with something good, then stop trash talking other companies.
Oh man,
That's it.
Oh man, on the game.
Get your asses back in the lab. Shut up.
On the gaming side, Apple grabs Nintendo and Activision PR execs for iOS gaming rules.
Where's that at?
That's on the Delicious. I apparently forgot to copy it over.
You
but
did.
Yes. But I saw it here, and it goes right along with what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's iPhone's figuring it out, and I don't think they're trying that hard.
I don't think they anticipated the market share that they were going to grab at all.
No.
Listen, I don't.
The problem is every kid wants an iPod Touch.
Right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
No.
the parents,
No. Every kid wants an iPhone.
right? So their parents have
Every
teased them.
parent-
Well, I'll get you an iPod
Yes.
Touch because I'm not getting you a damn cell
Exactly.
phone. Although I did see like a 13-year-old with an iPhone 4 over the weekend.
Well, actually, I sold my
We
own.
actually used it for video. It was pink. I'm lasting with the pink. I had a pink bumper on it, and I'm like, they're like, "Hey, how you doing that pink iPhone?" We're like, "Hey, the video's pretty good." So shut up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh.
I sold my old 2G for $175 unlocked to
jeez.
this guy at work because his kid wanted an iPhone and he already had a T-Mobile iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So and they use pay as you go.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I don't have to buy him an iPod.
Mm-hmm.
I can get him this thing, and I don't have to replace his phone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think he's 12 or 13, but
Yeah.
it is what
All right,
it is.
We're running out of time.
Yes, we are.
So let's cover this story and the story that you would like to talk about for more than 5 minutes.
We can hold it off.
Are you sure? You really
What's
want to
the
cover
story? I
this
want to hear
stuff?
this. story.
I did want to hear. Okay, well, we were talking about a little bit. I guess we did have a little bit of conversation. We want to continue here. And Adobe. Everybody knows
Adobe.
Photoshop. Really, I gotta drop $1,000 to edit my photos, kind of thing.
Yes.
Industry standard. It's been the bane of my existence because to get $1,000 as a freelancer to try to get it, or try to get my office to buy a few copies. But now they're coming up with subscription plans. A lot of them in the Creative Suite. You can get Photoshop, full Photoshop CS, whatever 5.5 they're up to now. And there's dogs in the back room there. That's great. $35 a month.
See?
$35 a month.
Genius.
Well, you can say, oh, this is another way for them to get money. That's $35 a month if you lock into a year plan. But if you don't, it's $49 a month if you go per month. There's a breakdown in the show notes if you want.
No, there's not.
I did not link that one.
No.
All right, we have. No, yeah, there it is. That's that link right underneath it.
5 times 12 equals. So you're paying $420.
$420 a year, yeah, versus $1,000. And now, and this can go towards paying, like it's kind of a rent to own system. It sounds like that you pay whatever you pay goes towards the price of a full copy.
Watching you try to copy.
I'm trying to copy this link because Google Docs does not allow the links to come through on the iPad, apparently. Oh my god, I'm going insane with this thing.
They might as well just get rid of copy and paste for you and iOS.
I guess
Okay.
You
so.
should go to a Windows phone.
There we go. Wait, how do I copy now?
Okay, so let me ask you.
Okay, yeah.
You do freelance.
I do freelance.
And sometimes it involves design.
Yes.
Now, is this something that you would do?
Now, I have acquired recently. Acquired, I bought. If you say acquired, we know what that means.
Right.
I bought, thanks to some nonprofit, fantastic people, Penn Future, helped me out, Photoshop CS4. I sell it for that because I'm like, really is worth the money for all the new features and everything. So I have it legitimately. Now, if I wasn't, and I was like, well, I gotta get a copy of Photoshop anyway. So just to that point, I need it. As opposed to getting, I think it's like maybe it might be $700 for the not the extended version, but to somebody that's a freelancer just starting off, students just out of school maybe, or a startup, that's a big chunk of change for $700 just for Photoshop, as opposed to it's $1,000 for Final Cut Studio.
No,
that's how many programs.
This gets you everything.
This what?
The $95 per month.
The 95?
Yeah, that gives you.
That's the Creative Suite. I think that's a year on the Creative Suite locked in.
Right.
Otherwise, it's like 130. And that gives you like the whole Creative Suite, which isn't everything Adobe, but everything like Dreamweaver, Photoshop. I'm not sure if After Effects is in there. But that is a lot lower barrier of entry than for me to come up with $1,000 right now to do it or try to write it off to a client, and I'm just learning a lot of the ins and outs of freelance, and maybe somebody out there is like, oh, that's easy to write off. It's like, well, it's hard with my clients, to justify that. But, or the fun part is if you're not somebody like, maybe you're somebody that doesn't use Photoshop every month, like I didn't used to have to use Photoshop as frequently as I do now. To just drop in, man, I gotta get this project done. Man, I don't want to buy Photoshop. I don't want to go through the bells and whistles to try to steal it or anything like that. Drop $50. You got it for the month to do your project.
You put steal in
quotes. The steal?
Yeah.
Steal it is in quotes?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Piracy is the biggest thing, and this is why they're doing this.
Right.
Because now it's like, we talked about if I could easily pay for, stream, find legitimately something to watch, and we know the programs that are hard to watch, and we know we're watching them anyways, you're going to go with that. You make it difficult, I'm going to find it on torrent, on Dailymotion, wherever, because it's easier than me to shell out this money and making it hard and DRM and all that stuff. But they're dropping it that I can drop $50 and have Photoshop today to get this project done, and that I can put it. You can put that in an invoice probably,
right,
for a freelancer.
Right.
You're in. Adobe has a little bit of money. Your conscience is a little clearer, and there you go.
Now, I hate to ask the question, but what do you think about open source solutions like GIMP?
Now, somebody asked me on Twitter today. They're like, well, I use, because I was asking, I want to see what people thought of this. And one person was like, well, did I use GIMP and I think Lightwave or something like that? I don't know if that's like another photo thing or something.
And then there's a brand new open source video editing software.
Yeah, there's a Linux video for Ubuntu and stuff. That's cool. I'm glad to do those free solutions. The open source community, I think it's awesome. Because I've been without Photoshop for so long in my one-day job, I downloaded GIMP. And I'm like, okay, we'll learn GIMP. We'll do this. I don't have time to learn GIMP.
Okay.
I'd rather that PC over there, and we do have a legit copy of CS2 lying around. I'd rather put that on the network, move a file over there so I can do my quick edit and get it back, as opposed to how the hell do I work with layers in GIMP? Okay. I know if I spend like a day on it, I'll figure it out. Granted, but I don't have the time. I got too much work to do, and that's where it runs into. Whereas I can then you run into, because I was bringing graphics back and they weren't working with other programs like they were supposed to, whereas, come on, Photoshop's a standard. Everybody knows how to do it. Everybody knows if you're on that level, you know how to deal with the files or the files that it puts out, and there's no surprises as far as that goes. I mean, we all learned it in school, and there you go.
So, take us out.
Take us out. All right, we squeezed a little bit of news. Thank you, Chilla, for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
With your gadgets. I got to play with an Android tablet, and it's as amazing as I thought it'd be.
Right. It's like reaching down in your backyard and picking up a handful of crap.
What?
I've never done that.
It's very colorful when it comes to these things.
But if you know something about that, I guess.
What are you doing in my backyard? No, you're fine. You're fine as far as I'm concerned.
Let me rephrase that. I imagine it's a lot like reaching down in a dog's backyard.
We know you have a lot of dogs in your house. It's okay.
Wow, you're.
But thank you. You have a Twitter. I know. I don't know if there's anything else you want to plug while you're in here.
Real quick, I'm actually working on a project that it's probably going to be I'm probably still a month out, but I'm actually going to go PC-less, except at work where
Mac-less, computerless.
I'm going to go computerless, and I'm going to completely go tablet-based. I'm going to attempt for 30 days.
Nice.
So I'm researching a lot of the technologies to try to make sure I can survive, and go from there.
Now, are you gonna do this all like video diary? Or...
Well, it's probably gonna be mainly blog with video edit or with some video and some screen captures and pictures, which is interestingly enough all gonna be posted on WordPress from my iPad. So
Fantastic.
it'll be see how far I can get and see how much I can really do without a PC. And I'm also going to compare the costs.
Yeah.
Because obviously
Yeah.
there's some app investments and some different investments I have to do to even be able to get to the point.
I'd be very interested in that because like I said, I'm trying to push like for my father, for maybe my mother-in-law to get it. Like instead of getting a new laptop, getting a new computer, getting one of these guys, one of the iPads, and in this, I imagine you're going to go iPad on this. Yeah. I mean, I can't see this being ready for prime time. I mean, you can't get good glue running to get your system kind of thing going on, like with where you work. I cannot imagine that the headaches that might come with that. So I mean, but the iPad's been around, it's mature. Yeah, you know, I think you can see it as a viable option, and really anybody else is new to the game. Right. You know, and a lot of people were speculating. They're like, oh, I'm not getting 1.0 from Apple.
And they're the same, except I mean, well, I guess I don't want to say they're the same because someone came to me and said it's the same device. It's just thinner and faster and has cameras, and I'm like, yeah, therefore it's different.
Right. Right. If you continue to list things that are different about the device, it's obviously not the same device.
My car is the same as your Ferrari. Your Ferrari just looks nicer and goes faster.
Right.
It costs a lot more.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So go check that out, Chachi. You're at chachisays.net.
As always.
Yes, your blog's coming along well. You got your series. You're on episode 30 this week.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big 3-0.
Didn't even know. He had to remind me.
Hey, it's 30.
I'm not kidding.
Do something special.
Yeah, which I did not.
Which you did not.
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't even realize the time just flies.
Yep.
So.
All right, guys. And, of course, you can hit us up, awesomecast.com. You can hit us at contact@awesomecast.com or hit our phone number at
it's on the screen.
724-25-ACAST. That's 724-25-2278. And back at me. And for Rob, who had to get out here a little quicker, Chachi and Chilla.
Look, I can put him up.
You can put him up?
Yeah, look at the screen.
Oh, is he for that guy right there, hanging out on Skype. I love it. We see the title underneath him.
Bye, Rob.
Later, Rob. Bye, Rob. This for AwesomeCast. You have been our awesome chat room. You've been our awesome audience, and we'll see you guys next week. Have an awesome week.